Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So in this video, we're going to be looking at paper 1 content, predicted questions for this year in your Kcse exam. We will be looking at 5 predicted questions. We try to make the video not too long. Okay. Now, before we start, I just want to remind you that we normally offer tutoring. So if you're looking for tuition in biology, maths, chemistry, physics, English language, English literature, whether it is secondary, whether it is primary, you can get in touch with us. I would like you to click subscribe to this video, and I want you to share this video. We got so many videos like this to help you get grade A in your exam. All right, so I want you to click the subscribe button before we get started. Whether you're looking for one-to-one tutoring, whether you're looking online tutoring, whether it is face-to-face, we've got you covered. Okay. So what I want you to do is to, at this point in time, to click subscribe as we get started and share and like the video as we get started. We are focusing on biology paper 1 content at this point in time, and I would like us to get started now with the questions. So thank you so much. So this is going to be question 1. And these are 5 questions based on cell biology. So these are the predicted questions for your cell biology topic that we think are very likely to appear in your exam. So there'll be 5 questions. You pause the video, you do them, and then I run through. I will not only go through the answers, but I'm going to extend you on the topic. So then it's like a revision video. Okay. Now, before we get started, I would like you to click subscribe, please, to this video. If you're watching us from YouTube, please click subscribe. So then when videos like this we upload, you'll be notified easily. And then I would like you to kindly, if you can share to just 10 of your contacts, please. And then if you can also click like on this. So subscribe, share, and like as we get started. Okay. So like I said earlier, we are looking at 5 questions based on cell biology topic that are very likely to appear in your exam. Okay. Now, question 1 is on cell structure, and it says state 3 structural differences between plant and animal cells. I would like you to pause the video and to answer this question. Pause the video and answer this question. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and you tried this question. Now, before I go over this, in here, I've got the structure of plant cell as seen in electron microscope and as seen in a light microscope. You could be asked the difference between electron microscope and light microscope, or the advantage of using electron microscope over light microscope. As you can see in this diagram, the electron microscope uses electrons and the light microscope uses light. That's the key thing. But in terms of what we can get here is that look at the details that you can see in electron microscope. It provides more detail into the subcellular structures. For example, if you look at here, we can see mitochondria, but here we can't even see it on this other one. Do you see this? So electron microscope have got more resolution, high resolution, and they've also got high magnifying power. So they make the organelles or the subcellular structures become much more bigger, so they're easily seen. At the same time, they've got higher resolution, which means that you can see the subcellular structures distinct and clear. So they can ask you that one. However, let's go back to the question. In plant cell, you will expect to get chloroplast, the green subcellular structure that contain chlorophyll for photosynthesis. So plant cells have chloroplast, animal cells don't have it. That's the first thing. The other thing about the plant cell is that you have what you call a cell wall. The cell wall is made out of something called lignin. It's made of something called cellulose. All right. It's made of something called cellulose, and cellulose is made of glucose. So this cellulose makes the plants the cell wall become rigid, kind of hard. All right. So we're talking about cell wall there. The other thing that the plant cell have that the animal cell don't have is a distinct big looking vacuole. As you can see in the center here, we have a cell vacuole, and this cell vacuole contains cell sap that maintains the pressure, turgidity of the cell. Okay, so the cell vacuole. The animal cells have it, but the animal cell doesn't have one big central one. It has got small temporary ones, tiny ones. Okay, so those are the key differences that you can mention in an exam. So now I would like you to mark your answers. If you got these three answers, please, I want you to give yourself 3 ticks. But if you didn't get one of them or 2, I would like you to copy this and don't forget this for your exam. Okay? You can pause the video as you copy this. Okay, so I hope that you finished everything. Now we're going to move on to the next question. We're going to move on to question 2. Just as a reminder, this video is focusing on just 5 questions that is based on cell biology. These are predicted questions we think will come in your exam, but they're based on cell biology topic only. Okay. Now question 2 is about cell organelles. State the function of the following organelles. Number 1, mitochondrion. Number 2, ribosome. Pause the video and write the answer to this. Okay, I hope that you pause the video and try this. Now we want to run through all the functions of the cell organelles, and I'm going to use this plant cell as an example. Number 1, cell cytoplasm is this part that looks bluish in color, and it contains solutions of salt there, and this is where chemical reactions always happen. Cytoplasm is the part of the cell where chemical reactions are normally happening. The cell nucleus, which is this part here, as you can see, the cell nucleus contains genes, contains chromosomes. That's the first thing. The other thing, it controls what the cell does, like cell division. Before a cell divides, the nucleus is the one that's in charge of this. So it controls what the cell does, and it contains genetic materials called chromosomes. The ribosomes, these are sites of protein synthesis. And you need to be able to give some examples of proteins. For example, hemoglobin, that is a protein. For example, the keratin that you find in your body, keratin there, we have collagen. These are examples of protein. We have enzymes. These are proteins. Even mucus, these are just protein, okay, in the body. So where are these proteins synthesized? Where are they made? In the ribosomes, okay? Now, cell vacuole. Cell vacuoles maintains turgidity, maintains the pressure. All right, the cell can absorb water or it can lose water. Now that is called turgidity. It maintains the turgidity of the cell by absorbing and losing water. Okay, that's what the cell vacuole does. Mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration. Is a site where energy is being generated here, where respiration is happening, where glucose and oxygen are reacting together to release energy. That is mitochondria. And as such, all cells in the body normally have mitochondria because all cells have got what? Needs energy. The cell membrane is the inner part, as you can see. That cell membrane controls what goes in and out. Some of the things that would go in are things like oxygen. Some of them that will come out, carbon dioxide. We have glucose, amino acids, all these things. They need to go in, some of them, and some of them need to come out. The cell membrane controls what goes in and out. It allows some things to go in, some things not to go. Cell membrane, okay? The cell wall is just for protection. It's always hard, it's for protection, and it keeps the cell rigid, like kind of firm, all right? And then chloroplast contain chlorophyll for photosynthesis, all right? So that is how you'll have answered that question. I'll show you the answers to the particular question they brought. It was mitochondria and it was ribosome. So pause the video and mark this. Okay, so mitochondria is a site of aerobic respiration where energy, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ATP. Okay. All right, so that's it. Now we're going to move on to the next question. Before we move on to the next question, I would like you please to click subscribe. Click subscribe to this video and then click like and share between to your contacts, please. So click subscribe right now. Okay, now we got the next question. The next question is on microscopy. Like I said, today we are focusing on 5 questions that are likely to come in your exam, but just based on the topic of cell biology. Cell biology. Okay, so question 3 is on microscope. So pause the video and try this. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and you try this. You can see this gentleman here is looking through a microscope, and there are 2 lenses to this. Number 1, we have the eyepiece lens, which is always kind of there where the man is looking through. And then we also have the objective lenses, and they're always 3. Typically, there are 3 objective lenses. Now, the function of these lenses is to magnify the specimen. They make the specimen bigger. The eyepiece one, in this case, is times 10, and the objective one is using a times by 40. So the eyepiece lens starts to make the specimen bigger by making it 10 times bigger. Then the objective lens now will do even more. We'll times it by 50. So the total magnification here is not 50. We are not adding, we are timesing. It's going to be 10 times 10, which is going to be 400, which means that the specimen is going to be 400 times bigger than the way it is. All right? Now, to see more specimen, especially the onion cell they're talking about here, if you don't stain it with iodine, sometimes it's difficult to see anything. It looks just transparent. So when you stain it, the stain will make the subcellular structures, the organelles, to be clear. They pick the pigment, they pick the ink, and you see the outline. The iodine solution provides an outline of those different structures, providing a contrast between nucleus, for example, and ribosome, for example. Okay. So I'd like you to pause the video now and mark. Pause the video and mark using the answers that have been provided. Now we'll go to question 4. Before we go to question 4, just a reminder that we're looking at cell biology predicted questions, and we're just focusing on 5 questions only. And I would like you to click subscribe and share these videos to your friends as we carry on. Let's go to the next question. The next question is on cell physiology, and we're focusing on how cells will always behave if you put them, for example, in water, whether it is distilled pure water or salty water, how they behave. That's what this one is focusing on. All right, so pause the video and try question 4. Pause the video and try question 4. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and you try this. Before we move on to the question, I would just like to tell you that this here are the red blood cells. You could be asked the function of red blood cell in exam, and the functions of red blood cells include things like to transport oxygen. In fact, that is the main thing it does, to transport oxygen to the cells. That's what it does. And to do that, it contains what we call hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein that you find in red blood cells that clings to oxygen and carries it. Okay, that's hemoglobin. So one of the ways that red blood cells are adapted to do their function is that they have hemoglobin. Another thing is that they've got large surface area because they are disc shaped. Look at the way they are dented like that. It's as if they're disc shaped. Look at that. They look hollow, right? Somehow. And that is to provide large surface area, carry plenty of oxygen. That is the way that they're adapted. However, when we look at the question they're asking, if you put them in distilled water, what's going to happen is they're going to absorb water and they're going to swell. The reason is because inside, the concentration of water is less than the outside. Therefore, water will move into it through osmosis, making them swell. And they might burst. If you carry on doing that, they might actually burst. But if you put them in salty water, highly concentrated, then the water will come out. They will lose plenty of water and they shrink and they shrivel. All right, so that is the idea here. Now, let's look at the mark scheme. So pause the video right now and mark your work using the mark scheme, and make sure that you use keywords like the ones that are in bracket, the ones I'm underlining. Very important. Pause the video and mark this. Okay, now I hope that you've paused the video and you marked this. Now we're going to go to question 5. Before we go to question 5, remember to click subscribe. So then when you're notified when you upload videos like this. We got many videos. We got physics videos, biology, chemistry, English language, English. We got a lot, and we're uploading more and more. Now let's go to the next question, which is levels of cell organization. A reminder, we are looking at cell biology. So pause the video and try question 5. Okay, so I hope that you've done question 5. On this diagram here is just to remind you of the structure of a human being. As I look at this, I can mainly see the breathing system, respiratory system of this gentleman here. And that system is made out of various organs. For example, I can see the lungs there. So the lung is an organ. And an organ would have been made of tissues. Yeah, the lung tissues, and the tissue would have been made of what? Of cells. So what they want us to do, basically, they want us to put this in order. When you put this in order, the first thing is always the cell. So they're the small cells that will make up the lungs there. And then you have the tissues, and then we got the organ, and then the organ system. And the tissue is a group of similar cells that perform a specific function. If you don't put the word similar, you don't get the tick. You must put the word similar. This is it. Before we stop, I would like you to click subscribe to these videos. And I would like you to share to at least 10 of your contacts. And then I'll ask you to click like. As we do more videos like this, we want you to subscribe. Otherwise, thank you. And that's the end of this video.